Hello, and welcome back to this final episode of Automate Live for 2024. I'm Gemma Martin, Media Production Manager for A3, and joining me now at the desk is last night's Engelberger Award winner, Gemma. Thank you for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm honored to be part of this discussion. Thank you.
Well, Joe, you are also the Chief Revenue Officer at Wauseon Machine, but let's just talk for a moment about the award. I mean, it is known as the award in robotics, and you are receiving the award for leadership. It was named, of course, after Joseph F. Engelberger, and this award was established in 1977. And it's been bestowed upon roboticists, and 136 different leaders have won this award in that time in over 17 different countries. So, Joe, with over 35 years of experience in the automation industry, you've made so many contributions to robotics. Can you share some of the key moments throughout your career that have led up to this moment?
Okay, again, a little embarrassing, but thank you for that. I'd say some of the things that I'm really most proud of that we've done, and I really mean we, because it's not me. It really is a team of people that make things happen. One of the things certainly is walking around this show. It wasn't all that long ago. We weren't sure that we could continue to grow this industry. And we got together as a group of people that were concerned about what we could do and said we need to, kind of rethink what this needs to look like. And that actually automates a good kind of analogy of what that is, because we said what we really provide is not robots. It was called Robot Vision Show. We provide solutions. We provide automation technologies. And that kind of rethought what this needs to look like. And I was fortunate to be part of that kind of discussion. Said, okay, so what should that look like? And I remember us talking about, let's put the integrators up front, because that's what people are really looking for. And we'll put the robot people, which they may not be so happy about. And I was running one of the robot companies more to the back, because we want the people to come in and say, hey, this is what we can do to help. And it really start to reform what we did as back then RAA and the vision associations and in motion control to eventually becoming A3. So that whole transformation, really proud of what we've done there, and to walk around this floor. It's kind of like, those of your parents, you had a baby, and then you see your child graduate high school or university. This is kind of that, to see that baby come along to where it is today, and they, kind of walking down the aisle for their doctorate or whatever. So I'm really proud of that. Another thing that I think, and Jeff Bernstein, while he wouldn't take credit for, he was a critical part of that for sure, but even the IFR. Many years ago, Jeff encouraged me to get more involved with the International Federation of Robotics. Yeah. And the two of us, I think, were helping to push the IFR to be more than just a statistical output of information, to really be a voice of the industry. And through some work together as the teams, we started to, again, rethink what that should look like. And the IFR really became that global face to promote automation to industry, manufacturing, government policies, global policies. Right. So I'd say from my work history, those are two really critical things that I'm proud that we've done.
That's really, really pivotal. I mean, you look around now and, of course the robots are here, but what I've heard from so many people is it is all the other people that are here, and because you made that, you opened that door, and here we are. So thank you for that.
And it keeps evolving, because every year right. Now more and more things are here. Certainly we talk about AI and some of the other technologies, connectivity, Industry 4.0 has become a reality because of things like this. And
it's only going to continue.
Absolutely.
Okay, so looking out throughout your career, you've held a lot of different positions, including at the Robotic Industries Association, as you mentioned, the IFR. How have these different leadership roles each played a role in shaping your perspective in this industry?
Hey, great question. I think one of the things that it really opened my eyes to maybe is that, more of a collaborative strategy, right? That a lot of people look at the world through different lenses. It's kind of, in fact, I use the analogy if we're all looking into a room and there's just windows and no doors, and there's an opportunity in the middle of that room, we all look at it from different perspectives. I might see a kitchen, you see a living room, somebody else sees a dining room, and getting together and getting those perspectives and doing that, working in this global environment with people that, brilliant, passionate people, and it really opened me up to, getting that collaborative perspective for the greater whole of making things better.
And how do you approach collaboration? You have to come, with ideas, but also you have to kind of leave that ego at the door a little bit too, right? I mean, what's your perspective on that?
And the badge at the door too. And I've been a big champion of that.
Yes, you have.
We're all in this, let's leave the badge at the door. Actually, that idea we talked about, one of the things I've tried to do with the teams I've been part of, and even with the IFR and some others, even with customers, that, let's go around the room, and instead of having a discussion about a particular person's perspective or opinion, let's each write down a couple of ideas that we think we can do to take advantage of this opportunity or this challenge. And then we go around the room and we write those things down, and then that person gets to share it. It's amazing how people say, wow, I never would have thought of that. But they couldn't, right? Because they can't see it I can't see it from your perspective, you can't see it from mine. But it's really eye-opening, and then you get together and you say, okay, now that we've got these 12 different ideas, they're all valid, can't do all of them tomorrow, but let's work on picking them. Instead of just, randomly seeing which ones, I ask everybody, okay, now of those 12, pick the top 2 you think we can do. And it's amazing. Most people don't even pick the 2 they put on the list.
Really?
They pick something else, and somebody goes, I never would have thought of that. It's a great idea.
Wow.
And then we'll go around and say, okay, so you picked 1 and 5, I picked 1 and 7, somebody else picked 1 and 8. Before you know it, everybody's around 1. And then we collectively pull on the rope the same way. We work at the same thing, and everybody's had a voice. And I think that's the most important thing. Everybody's contributed. And I get it. I'm one of those people who can try to dominate a room. So we got to shut Gemma up sometimes so other people can talk. And it's a great way to make everyone have a contribution and collaborate.
Because then you're bought in. I mean,
Absolutely.
It's partially your idea,
Absolutely.
so you care about it.
You had a voice. Exactly.
That makes so much sense.
You can use that if you want.
Thank you so much. I mean, in the same way, all of these different companies, I'm sure, the cultures have all been different. The roles have all been a little bit different. The work at hand and the solutions that you need have all been a little bit different. How do you look then to the rest of your team, and how do you try to lead them? Like, what kind of example do you try to set for them?
It's interesting because I'm not crazy about the word lead, because I know we have to lead, but I try to make sure it's a very flat strategy or structure, so we're all working together. I think there'll be challenges and something goes wrong. The best way for me in terms of that leadership is, when something goes wrong, let's get together and try to fix it. It doesn't help for me to say, Jana, what did you do? Right. Automatically, any new or opportunity to work to a positive is already shut down, because it's just not a positive situation for you. And for the others around, it's an awkward. So it's better to say, hey, we got a challenge, let's get together, put our minds together and work forward. However, if you really did something really positive, then you deserve to get that recognition and get the team together and say, hey, you know what Jana did and how she changed this and made it better for us? It's really a positive thing, and that builds a stronger trust, a stronger collaboration across the team, a trust in each of us. And again, it shouldn't be anyone in particular that needs to be getting that credit. The credit together is much more powerful.
I want to think now also about mentorship. I mean, I talked to so many people around this show this week that, would consider you as a mentor. And I'm sure there's so many more. What makes for a great mentorship relationship?
Wow, I hadn't thought about that much, but I think probably caring. If there's such a thing, caring about people and what they want to do, what their needs are, listening to, understanding them. Sometimes it's just giving them an opportunity to talk about what is important to them, and then just try to help guide them in through some of those opportunities or challenges. So it's hard to characterize it because different people are different things, but I think caring is probably the most central thing, and I hope and I believe people do know that I really do care. And in that way, I try to kind of comfort them and help them when they need it, or help push them when they need it also.
What would you say to somebody who's looking for a mentor? How could maybe they try to find that?
Another great question. And first of all, you probably heard me say, be a mentor, find a mentor. And I've had some wonderful mentors in my career and still do. Jeff Bernstein's one of them, in fact. One thing I want to encourage is try to think outside what your normal world environment would be. Because, again, people have different perspectives. So, and it can be somebody younger. I'm sure there's many things you could mentor me on, and I know you're a lot younger, but I'm sure you could mentor me things on. So I would encourage you to look outside your comfort zone. It's easy to go to a colleague that works with you every day, does what you do. I'm not saying they can't, but it can be very powerful and very beneficial to go outside that comfort zone. So that's what I encourage. And again, it doesn't have to be a senior person. It can be a junior person. It can be somebody outside a completely different industry. Again, giving a different perspective on life and on maybe your challenges.
You mentioned Jeff as a mentor. When you think about the people that you look up to, whether they're mentors or other leaders, living or famous or anybody, who would you say you look up to in leadership, and who are some good mentors of yours?
Well, I mean, so Jeff is an example. Jeff, when I talked about caring, one of his real strengths is trying to understand like his team and the people around him and what their needs are, their understanding of things, and that because of that caring perspective, they really will. I mean, they'll, as you will go through a wall for them. That's really important. I mean, there's a lot of things in leadership. That's certainly one of the things I think are very important. Decisiveness also can be a thing that can be helpful. So having a mentor that can kind of push you when you need to. A gentleman now that I would call a mentor, Scott Anair, there's some things in leadership you have to sometimes understand that you don't have all the data you need, but it's better to make a decision moving forward at that point than not make a decision and getting caught in paralysis of analysis type thing.
Right.
And so sometimes those types of things, having somebody who is a confident that can look at you in the eye and say, okay, stop. And you got to move forward here. And sometimes you need that. So again, different people need different things, and I guess that confident, hopefully, is the thing you probably need most. That you feel you can really lean on that person, both positively and negatively, when you need to.
All right, let's talk a little bit of your role at Wauseon Machine. As the Chief Revenue Officer, you oversee the front end of the business. Can you tell us about some of the innovative automation solutions or technologies your company is really excited about right now?
Well, thanks for the opportunity to talk about Wauseon. It's very nice.
Yes.
So Wauseon, first of all, is company of three different divisions. Automation is our largest division. The other two divisions, we have a standard product portfolio of the two forming technologies. It's a standard product series. And then we have the precision machining group, which is a fairly large group in the upper Midwest. And then the automation group. And from that, one of the things we're trying to be is, I say solution provider for sure, but kind of that trusted partner to our customers. Particularly today, a lot of small, medium-sized companies are looking at trying to automate manufacturing processes, and they don't know the technology necessarily. They don't know how to approach it. They don't necessarily have the staff on that can help them in that direction. So we want to be that trusted partner, and we tell our teams for sure, understand the customer's business. So what is going to make the difference for them with their customers, whether it's the consumer or another company, what's critical to them so we can help guide them through that journey. We don't want to be that, hey, we just want you to buy something for us.
Right.
We want to really be a partner in your business to understand it. And I think that's critical, what we try to do at Wauseon. Differentiation or not, I don't know, but we do want to be that trusted advisor, that trusted partner with our partner customers.
The overall is more important than any new product or device or thing. That overall just support. We're going to help you find the solutions that you need. I love
and there are
that.
some. I mean, to be fair, there are some standard, as far as we're concerned, some standard product portfolio strategy we have that can help scale. But that's not the strategy of our company is really to help our customers. The product portfolios we want to, if that makes it faster and better because it's pre-engineered and makes it easy for them, great. But we really want to solve their problems.
I love that. And I'm sure they do too. You've had an extensive career working for both system integrators and robotics OEMs. How has your diverse background influenced your approach into leadership and problem solving within this automation industry?
I'd say the the integration side really is a unique perspective because as the robot manufacturer, we had one piece of that solution we talked about. And as the integrator, you have to put all those pieces together to come with a final outcome. And even the way to market is a little bit different. So that certainly opened my eyes to a different way from a marketing and sales perspective to approach the market differently. I think that that's something I've learned from this different thing. An interesting thing about all this, because when I was at the robot manufacturer and I talk to people and they say, what do you do for a living? Not so much now as it was in the past, but they say, oh, well, you take away jobs.
Right.
And it's a continuous battle. It really has changed today in both cases. First of all, when I say, we do integration, we help solve, problems that make things faster or more productivity. People already have a different perspective. But even fortunately from the robot side, people say, wow, that must be exciting business. So there's been a paradigm shift anyway.
That's incredible.
It is, and for me, again, being a roboticist, if that's what you want to call it, having people have a better, higher acceptance of what we do and recognize that we actually create opportunities. And again, as the integrator, I get to really be part of the full integration solution and see that whole project through, which is, it's kind of a little more rewarding from that perspective.
And as we know from stats we heard on the desk already today, that when the job numbers go, employment goes down is when robot sales are going up. And so we know that robots don't, in fact, take away those jobs.
Exactly.
This robotics industry is constantly evolving. What emerging trends or technologies are you really excited about in the future and now?
I'd say the next big, for me, the next big disruption that needs to be happening and is starting to happen is connectivity. So, and when I say that, we talked about Industry 4.0 10, 15 years ago,
right,
and thought that's something of the future. It's certainly a reality today, but we need even that next level where the equipment needs to talk to each other. And there are companies starting to move in that direction. That's definitely going to be part of the near and long-term future. As consumers of this technology, it's frustrating for the customers, our end users, to have a piece of equipment that don't talk to each other and they have to independently manage that equipment. So having that connectivity, especially because of what AI can be and data can do, having that information not shared is really a frustration. So I think that's the next big disruption we're going to see going forward. A few years ago, I said that mobility would be a big disruption, and it is.
And you're right. Look at all the AMRs around here today. I've never seen a bigger AMR in my life than I have at this show this week.
Exactly. So I'm guessing 5 years from now we'll be talking about, remember we talked about connectivity? It is going to be a reality. It's necessary because the consumer of the technology is pushing in that direction.
I don't doubt it for a second. Joe, Gemma.
I don't have a crystal ball, by the way, but let's see.
I think you do. Well, Joe, Gemma, thank you so much. Again, congratulations on the honor of receiving the Engelberger Award. I'm really glad to have you today.
It's an incredible honor. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And thank you all for staying tuned and watching Automate Live all week. We'll be back for a real quick wrap up right after this break.